What the... Is he gone? Shit. Okay, don't spoil Star Wars. Gotcha. Hello my brothers and sisters, my name is Daidarius and welcome to the review of Bright. So Bright is an original Netflix movie and it is set in an alternate universe separated from ours. In this universe you have the same society as we have, but there exist orcs, elves, fairies and some other people who live among us. And the orcs is not well looked upon because 2000 years ago there was a war with a Dark Lord and the orcs fought with the Dark Lord against the human race, the elves, the fairies and everyone else. And even though that was 2000 years ago, people still look down upon them. I can see a bit why, but when you consider it, the Second World War was over 70 years ago and we don't hate Germans because people changed. It was not the soldier group that defined the whole population. And here you wonder, why do people still hold a grudge against them? But for the sake of the story, they do. So we have Ward, who's played by Will Smith. He is a police officer and he works with Jacoby, who is an orc, and he's not happy about that. First of all, he got him shot with a shotgun, and second of all, again, orcs are not looked that friendly upon in the society. However, they work together and Ward just wants to survive the next 5 years and then he can retire. Now there is a lot of tension between Ward and Jacoby from Ward's side. On the patrol, Ward and Jacoby gets called out to a site where there is some disturbance and they find a wand. And a wand is everything you want. So it's a nuclear weapon, except that it can give you everything. And not everyone can hold a wand. The most people who holds a wand or grabs a wand gets disintegrated. This wand is attached to an elf girl who can wield this wand. And now these two needs to bring her and that wand away from everyone else because everyone goes batshit crazy when they realizes there is a wand on the streets for everyone to grab. And that is basically our movie. It is a long fucking night for these two guys who just want to get this wand and this girl to safety before everyone else gets their hands on it. So that is a simple premise, but it also works in this movie's favor. Because, first of all, I like the fact that they didn't spend a lot of time or energy on the lore of the world. You have this war of 2000 years ago that was mentioned and the Dark Lord. You never see the Dark Lord, you never see anything about the war, you don't see anything from the past. It is just mentioned to enrich the world, but it's not the focus of the movie. If you want that movie, then go watch Lord of the Rings, because it kind of hints that it's the same thing, even though it's not like the Lord of the Rings happened 2000 years ago in this universe. Something like it happened, but it doesn't waste time explaining a lot of the lore. It just gives enough hints for you to then put together and get a full picture of it. And I like that aspect because you need to focus on these two men, Ward and Jacoby. Ward and Jacoby is a mixed bag. First of all, Ward is presented to be the hero of the movie. However, he is a complete jackass and you don't really sympathize with him, except that he got a shotgun to the chest early in the movie. But that's about it. He is a complete dickhead towards Jacoby, and Jacoby does nothing but being a good person, a good friend, a good partner. He does everything he can to be acknowledged by the police force, by the society, by the orcs themselves, because he's not blooded. When you're blooded, you are one of the orcs, the brethren, but he is not blooded yet, and orcs look down upon it because he is a police officer. He helps the humans, and there's some friction between the orcs and the rest of the races, and they just keep hammering on and on how much Ward doesn't like Jacoby for the sole reason that Jacoby is an orc. That is also the thing that takes me too much out of the movie, is the fact that they just keep hammering on, yeah, they are not going to become friends. I don't need a buddy cop movie where they become friends rather quickly. I don't need that. It makes sense that these two are not friends and you don't become friends that quickly. Even though they are in some bad situations where bullets are flying around them, they don't need to be friends to get out of the situation. They just need to shout orders to each other so they together can make it out of there. That works. I don't mind that. What I do mind is that they use so much focus on the fact that he don't like him. We don't need that. You have hammered it in the first 5 minutes, but they used, first 20 minutes to establish that Jacoby is in a bad situation. Everyone hates him. Alright, we get it. We don't need it thrown in our face constantly. That is by far the worst about this movie. However, what is the good thing about the movie? Well, it keeps the plot simple. You need to get this thing away from everyone else. So you have kind of an end of watch movie in the end where they need to get out, but just extended for the whole duration of the movie. You then have some intriguing action, and also the fact that you kind of wonder, they have a wand and they have a person who can wield the wand, which is called a bride, by the way. Why don't they use this wand to just get out of every situation? You find out why, because Jacoby even addresses that in the movie. Why don't we just use the wand? But you can. There are consequences when you uses a wand. And I like the fact that they didn't just do lazy writing. Well, we just wasn't imaginative enough to use the wand well in the movie, so we just didn't use it. No, there is a reason for it. That's good writing. I also like the fact the journey that these two men and this girl takes throughout the city. There are some recurring characters throughout the movie that they keep bumping into, but not too much that it makes it silly, but enough that it makes it understandable and makes sense, actually. So what you end up with is that you have a movie that has an extremely interesting world that it doesn't explore too much, which is kind of a bummer, even though it makes sense why it doesn't explore it. It just establishes enough to make it interesting. However, it does seem like they kind of want to make a sequel, and if the rumor is right, that is their plan. But I wanted a bit more to establish this world. I don't need every information, but just a tad more for it to make sense. But you have a buddy cop movie, we have seen it a million times before, and this is no different. Even though in the beginning there is a lot of friction between these two characters coming only from one side, and it is not returned. And I even think that the first 20 minutes could have been done differently, and then the payoff at the end would have been more satisfying. Also, a lot of the action sequences is not that interesting. They are grounded, even though you have a magic wand with it, but they are grounded. But I would have loved them to use a more realistic approach to some of the action sequences. And what I mean about that is that they are not gritty enough. And I know we are in this fantasy world, but still, since they're going for the realistic feel of what would happen if orcs and elves were living amongst us, then go the gritty way. It will make the magic, when it happens, more impactful, because it will not feel like that it fitted in this world and make it stand out more. However, I do believe that this is the best Netflix original movie you can find on Netflix, but apparently a lot of people, especially critics, hate this movie, and I don't see why. I do see its flaws because they are there, they are apparent, but the fact that it's a story so contained and well told, and it only focuses on this simple plot point and then deliver it extremely well. It is no world-ending thing. It is just two men trying to survive the night and do their job, and that's it. I like that. It is a great movie. It is well told. There are some humor that falls flat, and there are some discrimination scenes will just doesn't feel right, and is kind of forced just to make you sympathize with Jacoby more. But I mean, the first 5 minutes the guy is on screen, you just love the man. He does everything he can to be a good cop, a great person, a good partner. You just gravitate towards him instead of Ward. Ward is just a dickhead who you slowly likes, whereas Jacoby you like from the get-go. This is a simple movie. It is great popcorn entertainment. I would highly recommend that you watch it whenever you have the chance, because this movie is worth watching and worth buying on Blu-ray. There might be a lot of people who disagree with me, which is fine. I don't mind that. Then we have different opinions and we can talk about it in a, respectful way. I like those kind of discussions. Do you like Bright? Have you seen Bright even? Whatever you think, comment below, let me read your thoughts. And as always, until I see you in the next video, remember to stay awesome. Bye! Are we sure that Jedi is gone? I don't want to get punched in the face again.